walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the super-states that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. This is Mr. Romney Wordsworth, in his last 48 hours on Earth. He's a citizen of the state, but will soon have to be eliminated. Because he is built out of flesh, and because he has a mind.
You've been under investigation, Mr. Wordsworth, for the mandatory period of 1 year and 11 months. You're found to be obsolete. The purpose of this hearing is to make a finding in the matter and make a sentence accordingly. Do you understand that, Mr. Wordsworth? Your occupation, Mr. Wordsworth?
A librarian, sir.
A librarian. Having to do with books.
Yes, sir. Books.
Since there are no more books, Mr. Wordsworth, there are no more libraries. The field investigators in your sector have classified you as obsolete. Your rights are as follows, Mr. Wordsworth. You are to be liquidated within a period of 48 hours. You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
A lie. No man is obsolete.
You have no function, Mr. Wordsworth. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages.
You're a bug, Mr. Wordsworth, a crawling insect, an ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions that you inject into your veins with printer's ink. The narcotics that you call literature, poetry, essays of all kind, all of it an opiate. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream, and the state has no use for your kind.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
The Chancellor, the late Chancellor, was only partly correct. He was obsolete. But so is the state, the entity he worshipped. Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete.
Hallo allemaal, daar zijn we er weer. RHTV live vanuit het mooie Maastricht. Ja, we brengen dat ook even in kaart. Wacht even hoor. Zo, hup. Kijk, hier het mooie Maastricht. Hello to you all, streaming from the south of the Netherlands, Maastricht. Hello to the world. So, we're going to talk about geopolitics. Geopolitiek staat op het menu, zoals altijd bij RHTV Live. En ja, we gaan zo even een filmpje kijken over Nagorno-Karabakh. Ja, erg interessant. Maar eerst gaan we een filmpje kijken van Pound. En ja, Pound die vraagt zich af of er een complot gaande is in ons land. Aangaande de stikstofkwestie. Ja, we gaan daar ook zo even naar kijken. De kat begint weer te zingen. Ja, we gaan dat filmpje laten zien.
De stikstofdiscussie. Je kunt er bijna niet omheen.
De Raad van State vindt dat de overheid kwetsbare natuurgebieden niet voldoende beschermt tegen stikstof.
In ieder geval moeten we werken aan een veel breder pakket maatregelen om de stikstofuitstoot te beperken.
Er is veel discussie en veel lijkt onduidelijk.
Maar wat heeft dat met de stikstofdiscussie te maken?
Alles, jongen, je snapt het echt niet.
Het is gewoon ordinaire grondroof.
Wat is stikstof eigenlijk precies?
Nou, heel strikt genomen is stikstof een chemisch element wat in het periodieke systeem van de scheikunde zit tussen koolstof en zuurstof.
Ja, en het is ontzettend gevaarlijk schijnt het te zijn.
Nou, stikstof, dat is natuurlijk 78% van de lucht om ons heen. En dat is een noodzakelijk ingrediënt voor leven überhaupt.
Volgens onderzoek van het RIVM is er te veel stikstof. En waar dat vandaan komt lijkt overduidelijk.
De grootste stikstofuitstoters van Nederland, als je echt kijkt naar wat er alleen in Nederland wordt uitgestoten, dan is dat inderdaad de landbouw.
De boeren dus.
Dat is zo'n grote onzin. Ja, want als je kijkt naar de grootste stikstofproducent. Kijk, je hebt dus chemische stikstof en natuurlijke stikstof. Stikstof is een natuurelement. Maar dan heb je ook een chemische vorm. En daar heeft de overheid het dus over. Dus, maar het is zo'n onzin dat het van de boeren komt. Want die hebben de hele tijd stikstof verminderd. Ja. Het is gewoon inderdaad landje pik.
Dus, maar die zijn het er niet mee eens.
Uiteindelijk moet er wel wat gebeuren volgens RIVM, want het is nou eenmaal zo dat stikstof natuurlijk schadelijk is voor het milieu.
Ja, dat is dus ook weer zo'n feitelijke onjuistheid. Stikstof is leven, wat ik net al zei.
Ja.
Stikstof, daar groeit het gras
er is
van,
te veel stikstof
de bomen van. Ja, voor een handjevol kritische plantjes in de natuurgebieden.
En de biodiversiteit.
Ja, dat is allemaal gelul. Want de biodiversiteit op ons gangbare landbouw is puik, die is goed in orde.
Volgens de boeren ziet het er allemaal goed uit. Maar klopt het dan niet wat het RIVM zegt?
Nou, kijk, ik wil niet zeggen dat wat het RIVM zegt niet klopt, maar die werken met cijfers uit 2018.
Nou, dan moet ik even gaan corrigeren, Carolien. Die werken in stramine en grafieken. Ja. En als het in een grafiek staat dat er veel stikstof rondom onze atmosfeer is, rondom onze omgeving is, dan staat het hoog in de statistieken. En dan moet de RIVM dat gaan melden. Oh, stikstof is zo'n groot probleem. Dat gaat toch weg. Dit is hoe het gaat in Nederland. Dit is een bepaalde kwestie wat je nooit opgelost krijgt. Ja. Ze kunnen net goed zeggen van ja, er is te veel O2, lucht. Er is te veel lucht. Ja. Dus ja, CO2 is carbon. Carbon in lucht. Ja. Dus dat zijn twee moleculen die bij elkaar komen. En nu, ja, zo heb je dus een chemische reactie. Ja. Maar goed. Ja. Het is allemaal via de statistieken. En niet per se via de cijfertjes.
En in 2000, daar worden modellen opgemaakt en berekeningen opgemaakt en dan krijg je een soort van uitkomst.
Als je gaat kijken naar de uitstoot van ammoniak, waar is die nou op gebaseerd? Nou, dat is gebaseerd op brondata RIVM. Maar die brondata van het RIVM is gebaseerd op diertellingengegevens van het RVO, Rijksdienst voor Ondernemend Nederland. En wat blijkt? Ik heb die data van de diertellingen. En dan kijk ik naar een boer in Vlachtwedde, die staat voor 600 koeien aangeslagen. Ik kijk naar zijn boerenschuur, daar passen geen 600 koeien in, dus ik heb de boer gebeld. En de boer zei, nou meneer Alkema, ik heb nooit meer dan 180 koeien gehad. En ik ben al 2 jaar geleden gestopt. Maar, wacht eens even, wij hebben dus in Vlachtwedde, daar in Groningen, hebben wij 600 koeien, keer een emissiefactor, dat levert dus ammoniakuitstoot op. Dat is de administratie, maar dat is niet de werkelijkheid.
Nu zijn er sinds 2018
Hoor je dat? Dus ze tellen meer vee dan wat de boer heeft. Stel de boer heeft 200 koeien, gemiddeld. En ja, er komt zo'n inspecteur langs die zegt van nou, je hebt 600 koeien. In plaats van 200. En daarop worden die statistieken, die worden dan daarop berekend. Samen met de CO2-waarden, de stikstofwaarden en noem het allemaal maar op. Atmosferische waarden. Ja, moet je dat nou per se allemaal gaan berekenen als overheid? Heb je nou echt niks beters te doen dan kijken naar de waarde van luchtmetingen? Ja, echt waar. Dat is allemaal voor de publieke gezondheid. Hè. Daar valt het allemaal onder. Dus ze zeggen nu ook dat met gas koken, dat mensen astma krijgen en... Serieus? Is dat de nieuwe propaganda van Nederland? We moeten van het gas af. In de jaren 50 tot en met de jaren, eind jaren 70 waren we dus aangesloten op een gasnetwerk. Dat zou goedkoper zijn. En noem het allemaal op. Schoner voor het milieu. En dan zoveel jaar later moeten we weer in transitie gaan. Dan moeten we over naar de zonnepanelen en zoiets. En dan komen ze aan met stikstofprobleem en dit voor probleem en atmosferische metingen. Waarbij je zoiets hebt van, ja echt waar, serieus, zit je daar nog druk over te maken? Moet je dan de boeren gaan aanpakken voor het stikstof die zij produceren? Een kleine beetje stikstof, want dat hebben we al grotendeels gereduceerd. Hè? Je beseft dat wel. Dus en nou moeten we nog meer gaan reduceren. Het vleesstapel, dus het aantal vlees wat je hebt in het land, dat gaan ze verminderen en nog belasting erbovenop gooien. Ja, vleestaks. Kan niet duur genoeg.
Er al 200.000 runderen minder, 10 miljoen kippen minder, 1,5 miljoen varkens minder en 20.000 schapen minder. En ik vind het dus heel raar dat we nog steeds werken met die cijfers uit 2018 en niet op de huidige veestapel.
Je kunt je voorstellen dat als je verkeerde data in een model stopt, dat de uitkomst altijd verkeerd is. Ja, dus ik zou zo graag willen dat we teruggaan naar de basis, terug naar de werkelijkheid. Ga nou eens controleren of de diertellingengegevens wel overeenkomen met daadwerkelijk het aantal kipjes, koetjes in de stal. Want daar heb ik mijn grote twijfels over.
Ze willen gewoon de helft van de boeren eruit werken voor een ideale plan.
Ja.
Maar er is nog helemaal niet naar gekeken, wat als de helft van de boeren is opgeruimd, hoe gaat het dan met onze natuur? Ja. Gaat die überhaupt verbeteren of niet? Daar wordt niet naar gekeken. Er ligt een andere agenda achter, het kan niet anders. Want waarom luister je anders niet naar de landbouw? Waarom heb je al drie jaar lang je vingers in je oren als wij met goede...
Nou kijk, wat er is gebeurd, er wordt er wel met de landbouw gepraat. Ja, de boeren, zoals ik het begrijp, bestaan uit 3 organisaties. Je hebt dus de LTO, Landtuinbouworganisatie. En dan heb je ook nog de FDF, Farmers Defence Force. En hoe heet die? Actie of zoiets. Nou, de LTO, die is het dichtst bij overheid. Die is dichtst bij de macht. Ja. Dus die komt aan tafel te zitten samen met die Remkes. Want die moest gaan kijken naar de stikstof, depositiewaarde en bla. Nou. En dan zegt Remkes van de 3 partijen waarbij eentje aan tafel zit. Dan zegt hij gewoon van ja, de boeren hebben met ons gepraat. Terwijl die andere 2, Agri-actie en FDF, die worden gewoon aan de kant geschoven. Ja. Dus ja, dat is toch helemaal niet eerlijk. Dan praat je met, zeg dat er 100 mensen in een zaal zitten. Dan praat je met 10 mensen en dan zeg je van, ik heb ze alle 100 gesproken. Nou, dat is toch niet eerlijk. Dat is toch fout.
Ideeën komen.
D66, zelf groot voorstander van het afschalen van het aantal boerenbedrijven, geeft aan het beste met de boeren voor te hebben.
Eigenlijk is D66 de enige partij die een uitgewerkt perspectief heeft voor boeren. Daar waar andere partijen zeggen, nou het kan nog wel even zo doorgaan. Die wrijven boeren alleen maar zand in de ogen. Ja. En die wekken valse hoop, want het huidige model heeft geen toekomst.
Maar wat is dan toch die weerstand die ontstaat bij die boeren?
Nou, wat je ziet in het huidige model, verdienen heel veel partijen geld aan de boeren.
So we're talking about the farmers over here in the Netherlands and the so-called nitrogen problem, right? And basically it's the Gordian knot. You can look it up, Gordian knot. It's basically a knot you cannot untie, right? So this problem is put on table at the Dutch government and they need to solve this. And they're not solving it. You know, they're buying out farmers. Farmers are hanging themselves, right? You know, it's a very sad and unspoken tragedy in our beautiful country. So this bald guy here is from a political party called D66. Devil 66, no, Democratic 66. It's a Democratic party on paper, right? But these people want to ban political parties, right? Because they see competition. They know that the opposing parties, like the FVD and the PVV, and other parties that oppose all these rules and regulations on the farmers. There's also BBB, Boerenburgerbeweging, who's gaining traction, by the way. But this is what's happening, and the opposing parties can't really oppose anything. You need 76 seats in parliament, right? 150 constituents, and you need more than half. So D66, Devil 66, is within the coalition, right? So they have more than half. So yeah, that's what's happening here in the Netherlands. And this prick is saying, we are for the farmers, and it's Orwellian language if you listen to it.
De veevoerverkoper, de slachter, de kunstmestverkoper, de bestrijdingsmiddelenverkoper, de loonwerker, die verdienen allemaal geld aan die boer. Ja. En die boer moet steeds harder werken, de banken. Dat zijn natuurlijk partijen die best wel wat te verliezen hebben bij zo'n nieuw landbouwmodel, waar die boer ook gewoon weer echt boer kan zijn. Dus ja, ik kan me voorstellen dat daar de weerstand vandaan komt.
Ja, maar ook vanuit de boeren.
Ik kan me voorstellen dat de weerstand daar vandaan komt. Nee, de weerstand is dat je een non-issue op tafel legt, die niemand op kon lossen. En atmosferische waarden en zoiets, ja, dat verandert steeds. In de zomer heb je meer luchtvochtigheid en noem het allemaal op. Hier in de winter is het koud en droog meestal. Dus kijk naar buiten. Als je in Limburg zit of Brabant, kijk naar buiten. Je zal sneeuw zien. Sneeuw, klimaatverandering. Die mensen die denken dat ze aan een thermometer kunnen draaien om het klimaat maar te kunnen veranderen. Ja, these people think that they're gods, you know, that they can switch a thermometer up to a certain degree, and that's okay, you know. And all these rules and regulations come from higher up, right? The European Union, the Green Deal. So it's very, very sad to see what's happening in our country. And yeah, these people, these so-called politicians, well, they want to be a politician, right? And when you want to be a politician, then you have to look out, because it's, you know, it's other people's money they're spending. So that's that. Ja, complot. Belazert overheid de boeren met stikstofprobleem. Ja, dat doen ze. Ja. Goed. We hebben te maken met criminelen. Hè. Moet je niet vergeten. Goed. We zouden ook even naar Nagorno-Karabakh gaan kijken. Hè. Dat is het Armeense conflict. En moeten we eerst even aanwijzen waar Armenië ligt. So we're going to talk about the Armenian conflict, Nagorno-Karabakh. Wait, let's zoom out. There we have it, Armenia, Azerbaijan, right? There's a conflict going on over there, and there is a certain region, Nagorno-Karabakh, which has, Nagorno, which has Armenian people living in Azerbaijan, right? And there is an oil pipeline, which is from Azerbaijan, running through Nagorno-Karabakh. And the Azerbaijani government says that that the Armenians, right, who live in that region, they broke the pipeline, you know, so, and this is what's happening. And Azerbaijan is retaliating and stuff like that. Very, very interesting to see what's happening over there. Now, I'm going to show you guys a clip of 2 years ago. And the region is now in uprising again. It's basically a conflict that's, you know, in the deep freeze. And sometimes there's fighting, sometimes clashing, you know. So let's show you the clip of Nagorno-Karabakh. Wait.
Let's talk about a mountain territory that people are killing each other over. It's called Nagorno-Karabakh, and the fights between Armenia and Azerbaijan.
A flare-up of one of the world's oldest conflicts is raising fears of all-out war.
Soldiers and civilians are being killed.
Life has moved underground in Stepanakert.
Once the machine of war has started, it gets incredibly dangerous. These two sides have very long-range weapons.
So why are they fighting? How long has it been going on for? And why are countries like Turkey involved? The first shots were fired in July before all-out war broke out at the end of September. It's been the worst fighting there in 25 years, but the grievances go back generations. At the heart of the dispute is a region called Nagorno-Karabakh, and here it is in a crowded neighborhood known as the South Caucasus. Nagorno-Karabakh lies entirely within Azerbaijan's borders. It's internationally recognized as being part of the country, full stop. Here's the thing, it's controlled by ethnic Armenians, backed by Armenia. And surrounding Nagorno-Karabakh are lands that Armenia controls. The UN calls it an occupation. Then you've got all the big neighbors, like Iran, which borders both. Turkey, it's long been an ally of Azerbaijan. And then there's Russia. It supplies weapons to both Armenia and Azerbaijan. We'll get into all the geopolitics later. But first, here's what Nagorno-Karabakh looks like. It makes up 5% of Azeri territory, but almost twice that much land around it is controlled by Armenian forces. About 150,000 people live here. It holds its own elections and governs itself. But right now, it's a war zone. Many people are living in their basements because of the shelling, and local officials say half the people who live there have been forced to leave. The thing about this region is that it's been fought over for a long time. Iran had control in the mid-18th century, then the Russians took over, the British and the Ottomans were in there too. But a key date in all of this is 1920. That's when Armenia and Azerbaijan went to war over Nagorno-Karabakh, and Azerbaijan, backed by Russia, got control. A year later, it was promised to the Armenians, but Stalin turned around and made sure Azerbaijan held on to it. By 1988, the Soviet Union was crumbling, and the Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh took advantage of the power vacuum and voted to join Armenia. So when the Soviet Union finally fell apart in 1991, so did whatever was left of peace in the South Caucasus.
What the collapse of the Soviet Union did was then to militarize this conflict. Both sides suddenly got much bigger weapons.
1992 was when the fighting really intensified, right after Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh declared independence. Both sides accuse each other of atrocities. Tens of thousands of local Azeris and Armenians were killed. 1 million people had to leave their homes. In the end, the Armenians pushed Azerbaijan's forces out of Nagorno-Karabakh, seized territories around it, and it all finally ended in a ceasefire in 1994. That ceasefire has been ignored by both Armenia and Azerbaijan over the years. And the sense of injustice over what happened in that war, the killings and mass displacement, hasn't gone away.
This conflict has always been kind of put on the back burner. There's always the danger of some terrible incident causing a new escalation, in which case things could get totally out of control given the huge amount of weaponry we have on both sides.
And now, both sides are tapping into that anger. It's full-scale war all over again. Trenches, tanks, air attacks.
Air raid sirens wailed across this city as a barrage of rockets and mortars rained down.
Azeri forces have been attacking Nagorno-Karabakh's main city, Stepanakert. Armenian men there have been signing up to fight back. Exact numbers are next to impossible to come by, but soldiers and civilians on both sides have been killed. Armenian forces have been attacking Azerbaijan too. The border city of Ganja has been among the hardest hit.
The second rocket hits the other street, and there are also 2 other wounded people over there.
So how and why did the fighting start up again? The answer depends entirely on who you ask. Armenia says Azerbaijan attacked first. Azerbaijan says it acted in self-defense. What's clear is that it's not exactly an even fight. Our colleagues at AJ Labs put together these infographics to show just how much more Azerbaijan spends on its military, how many more soldiers it has, and how much more artillery. And the Azeris have been showing it off. This is an actual music video released by the Azeri military. The Armenians are rallying their people too. But what's making this particular fight different from all the other skirmishes is that other countries are getting involved in a big way.
Azerbaycanlı kardeşlerimizin işgal altındaki topraklarını kurtarma ve vatanlarını koruma mücadelelerinde yanlarında olduğumuzu belirtmek istiyorum.
Part of Turkey's connection to Azerbaijan is cultural. The Azeris are a Turkic-speaking people.
We call ourselves one nation, two states. What happens there, of course, is of direct concern to us. It affects, our borders. It affects our region.
It's got the Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh looking for outside help too.
If there is also a direct involvement of Turkey, and I don't see that Turkey is going to pull out from the region, we have to somehow, change some geopolitical approaches of our state, further strengthen our relations with Brazil.
Well, first of all, you need peace, right? That's what you need. You need peace. Now, how can you achieve peace when there's so much hate, right? Very, very complicated issue over there in Nagorno-Karabakh. Yep. As I've said before, right, the Armenians are in this region in Azerbaijan, and that is, creating tensions and escalations and stuff like that. Now you have Turkey supporting Armenia, right? Saying we must not forget our brothers in Azerbaijan, in Nagorno-Karabakh. And you have Iran, who's also a neighboring country, Georgia, and of course Russia, right? Russia is supplying both sides of the conflict. That must stop. And you also must stop the war in Ukraine. I plead you, Mr. Putin, if you're listening, KGB is probably listening in, right? Or the FSB. I plead you, we want peace, no war, right? Now, I understand that you don't want NATO at your border, so why not put another negotiation stance on the table saying that Ukraine must be neutral, which you've already said basically, but also Finland and Sweden neutral, right? And for the people wondering why I'm talking about that, well, there is a diplomatic issue between Sweden and Turkey. You have the YPG, which is YPG, sorry, and the PKK, and those are two Kurdish proxies basically, and they want their own autonomous region within Turkey, right? And Turkey does not want that. Now, why am I talking about that? Sweden and Finland want to join the NATO, right? NATO alliance. Now, Sweden is supporting both of those organizations who want an autonomous region for the Kurds, right? And Turkey does not want that. So what happened in Sweden, in Stockholm, they went to the Turkish embassy and they burned the Quran. Now, if you look at Turkey, they went to the Swedish embassy, and we're going to take a look at that. Wait, just a second. Ja, mensen, hier hebben we het ook over gehad. De relatie tussen Zweden en Turkije. Dus dat escaleert alleen maar. In Zweden hebben dus mensen die de Koran gingen verbranden voor de Turkse ambassade. En ja, eigenlijk doet Turkije hetzelfde in Turkije voor de Zweedse ambassade. Dus we gaan even hier naar kijken.
Bekle. Kur'an'a uzanan eller kırılsın. Kur'an'a uzanan eller kırılsın. İsveç'i yakacağız biz de. İsveç'i yakacağız, bayrağı değil. Nerede bu ülkenin Cumhurbaşkanı?
Avrupa'da, İsveç'te özgürlük ve demokrasi olarak addedilip yüce kitabımız Kur'an-ı Kerim'in yakılmasına polis eşliğinde müsaade edilmesi alçaklıktır, kahpeliktir, hainliktir.
İsveç makamlarının buna yetkili olarak bir büyükelçilik önünde bu provokatif eylemin gerçekleşmesini, dünyadaki bütün Müslümanları, dünyadaki bütün Müslüman gençleri sinirlendirecek, dünyadaki bütün Müslümanların canını sıkacak bu işi gerçekleştirmesine izin vermesi kabul edilebilir bir durum değil.
Evet, Türkiye tarafı yapmış olmasından dolayı da yine şahsın
Devletimizden, özellikle Cumhurbaşkanımızdan ricamız İsveç hükümetiyle bütün ilişkileri kesmesidir. Bakın, NATO'ya girmek istiyor alçaklar ve terör örgütlerinin beşiği olan bir devlet bizim de bulunduğumuz NATO'ya girmek istiyor. Türkiye'nin elinde de çok büyük bir imkan var. Buna müsaade etmemesi lazım.
Where is the peace when you live in a world full of hate, right? So this is what's happening around the world, and you know, very, very sad to see the relation sour between Turkey and Sweden, right? So the European Union was basically made for free trade and free travel and stuff like that, but you know, it's getting from bad to worse. Ja, het wordt van kwaad naar erger. Dus dit gebeurt allemaal, mensen. Dit gebeurt. I think the Turk Stream deal with Russia is still on the table. And who knows, maybe there will be a pipeline throughout the Black Sea towards Istanbul. Because if we look at the Baltic Sea, right, there was a pipeline there, the Nord Stream pipeline, 2 pipelines, and they were sabotaged. Now I wonder who did that. Ja, mensen, daar horen we niks over de Nord Stream pijpleiding. Nee, dat is top geheim, hè? Top secret. You're not allowed to talk about that. Nope. So, what's happening in the Netherlands, right? We have an energy crisis. there's a lot of gas in the North Sea, and during the 50s, towards the 70s, late 80s, last century, we were put on a gas network, right? First we had coals and stuff like that, and that was very bad for the environment. Now we're put on a gas network, right? And now they say gas is bad for the environment. Yeah, your son or daughter is going to get asthma, stuff like that. So they want to cut us off of gas, right? There's a lot of gas in the North Sea, goes all the way to Groningen, one of the northern provinces of the Netherlands. There's also gas over there. And we used to have a facility giving gas towards other countries such as Germany and Denmark, and that was our export. But there were earthquakes in Groningen. Here it is, Groningen. There were earthquakes there, and they said, we're going to stop. We're going to stop with the gas. And that's basically it. So people are still living in damaged homes because of these earthquakes, right? And they're still not compensated by the Dutch government. So this is what's happening, people. Ja, Groningen, de mensen in Groningen zijn nog steeds niet gecompenseerd. Daar hebben we met zo'n kwal te maken, zoals Rutte, die naar het verkeerde adres toe gaat. Onvoorstelbaar, maar dit gebeurt. So, we're also going to take a look at what's happening in Davos, Switzerland. I believe it's the last day of the World Economic Forum, right? Here we have Switzerland. And let's take a look at what's happening there. I believe the Prime Minister of Luxembourg was approached by a reporter. Let's see, there we go. Avi Yemeni from Rebel News confronted the Prime Minister of Luxembourg, and for the international audience, the Americans, the Canadians watching, we're going to show you what, guys, where Luxembourg is basically under the Netherlands. So here we have Switzerland. Under Switzerland, you have Italy. You also have Liechtenstein, which is a very small country. Above that, we have Germany, right? But over here, we have Luxembourg. So, and the Prime Minister of Luxembourg was confronted by Avi Yemeni from Rebel Media. There we go.
Sir, can I ask you what your country's role here in the WEF is?
So to exchange, to learn, to work, to build contacts and to continue contacts, and instead of speaking about each other, to speak to each other.
Do you think it's okay, it's right that Luxembourg has any input and say in policy, for example, that affects Australians or the UK? Why should you have a say in that?
I have nothing to as input in politics. Every country is free to decide what they feel. I think here it's, as I told you before, a place to exchange, to learn from each other. This is, I think, some journalists still believe that this here is an international power, which it's not. This is just a place to exchange, to learn from each other, and to learn from the experience from the one or for the other.
So you're denying that here that there is a consolidation of power, that this is where some of the richest and most powerful people on the planet come to devise policy. This is where the policy starts, the Great Reset.
Those are decided in national parliaments and not in Davos.
They all seem to come here and be...
Now this guy's brainwashed, right? He is so brainwashed, you know. Same as our Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, he's also so brainwashed. And, you know, this guy's saying, there's nothing, you know, people just talking. Yeah, right. International power brokers, people from Pfizer, CNBC, BlackRock, and other investment companies and media and stuff like that. And you're telling me that there's nothing going on? Yeah, right. This is a cover for the Bilderberg Group, right? Another steering committee. You also have the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission and all these other lobby groups.
Start off as young global leaders here in the WEF. What do they all have in common?
I don't consider myself as a young leader or not. I'm Prime Minister of an elected government in my country, like the other colleagues, and we exchange here. It's important. We have several meetings a year. We have once the UN General Assembly, where we are able just
Sorry, is he annoying
politics.
You? Is he annoying you?
No, it's still okay.
Okay,
This is Nasdaq. He's a great Nasdaq.
This guy's annoying. Be careful of this guy. He's annoying.
I was a lawyer before. If you need some help.
Wait. What law? What law? Naz might need criminal help. Naz, come here. 2 questions.
I'm good.
Wait.
Bro, I know you.
Hold on. You said
I know you at this.
Hold on, Naz. And Naz, you said I was dangerous to my followers. But you pushed your followers to support FTX.
Bro.
FTX.
Aren't you the dangerous guy? You're very dangerous. Yo,
I like you, Naz.
I like your followers.
Listen.
I like your followers.
Listen. But
bro, I saved that guy from you.
That's good of you. But listen.
Bro, I saved that guy from you. Oh my God. I wanted to hear what the Prime Minister is doing there. You know, amongst all these power brokers, the powerful elite of the world. What is he doing there? He's not eating cake and drinking some coffee. No. You know? So this is what's happening, people. Very, very sad to see this stooge here, whoever this guy is, interrupted Avi Yemeni, because there was a pretty interesting conversation he had with the Prime Minister, the brainwashed puppet, and you know, yeah. So we also have the Bilderberg Group, which is another steering committee, as I've said before, and all these steering committees have these ideas, right? Like Forum for the Future. You know, Forum for the Future. You probably don't know about that, right? Forum for the Future. Well, it's a lobby group deciding the future of humanity, right? Here we have Plandopolis and 3 other scenarios for the future. So we're going to take a look at this here. There we have it, Forum for the Future, right? A lobby group that, you know, talks about our future as a human species. How are we going to go forward? Well, one of the scenarios is basically a big mainframe computer, and another scenario is travel from one place to another. So we're going to take a look at this here.
Hi. I'm so glad you're on time. I'm V. I'm looking forward to showing you around Plandopolis today. My husband works from home. He's a virtual engineer working on one of the city's desalination plants. He controls the robots who do all the important maintenance. I think he basically plays computer games for a living. You ready to go? Have you got your calorie card open on your smartphone? I registered your visit with Slick Travel Corp the other day, so they've allotted you a journey time to match mine. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? Switch off brain and go to work. With this many people around, I'm glad there's a mega computer in charge. We're so lucky. Our kids were allocated a school quite near my practice, so I can drop them off on the way. It saves on our calorie ration. Well, it won't be long until the little darlings get their career announcements. They've been working so hard, so I'm sure they'll get something good. Not that there's anything wrong with fixing carbon scrubbers for a living or anything. Are you hungry? Let's pop to the market as we're passing. Right, what's on the menu this month? No, not meat. It's not your birthday. The Global Food Council are doing a really good job of keeping food production going. I mean, you don't get the choice you used to, but we're better off than most. I think it's probably easiest to walk from here. You barely see a car in the city centre nowadays, unless you're rich. Well, the state knows they just aren't practical anymore. We're all trying to meet our global carbon deal. Electric bikes are so much better for getting around our neighbourhood. And why waste valuable space on car parks when you can use them to grow food? I don't care what you say, Alex. They don't deserve to live in that ghetto. They are completely disconnected. No high-speed transport system, no new internet. They miss out on jobs and many essential services too. Oh, hi again. What a day. I had to make an emergency visit to the Cry Freedom ghettos. I mean, I miss my sister like mad, but I'm glad they went when they were moved to New Amsterdam. They're safe from climate change on the floating city. That must be her now. It's much easier to meet up with friends virtually now. So many cities have banned cars in central areas. Ooh, looks like she's got some juicy gossip.
So that's one of the 4 scenarios. We're going to take a look at another scenario, which Forum for the Future, a shadow lobby group, no one voted for these guys, have made for us. Dus Forum for the Future, die bedenkt even 4 scenario's voor de mensen, voor de mensheid. We hebben net 1 scenario gezien waarbij de smart city eigenlijk zo'n beetje wordt geïntroduceerd. We gaan zo even naar het tweede scenario kijken. Je kan het allemaal opzoeken, Plandopolis en 3 other scenarios for the future. Ja, dus we gaan even de andere scenario bekijken.
Time already. Oh, it's date night. Typical. Today of all days. Oh, hello. I forgot you were coming today too. This'll have to be a quick tour. Welcome to Communicity. This is the city where I live. Well, I say city. In fact, it's really a jumble of neighbourhoods. Everyone lives in their own little part of town. Each one's different from the next with its own little character. I love it. Oh, Lord. I said I'd drop the kids to school. Can we chat more on the road? Oh, yeah. The design they did for me at the showroom. Me and my friends all got ours done at the same time. I know it's really silly, but I couldn't resist. I love zipping through all the different pods and scooters, and it's nice not to have to worry about crashing or being late. Public transport. That is so old-fashioned. Well, hardly anyone uses that anymore. We haven't put money into trains or buses for years. It's saved loads of public money. We put that into local community centres, schools, or helping start-up businesses instead. Well, still, you do see people in bio buses. You know, they're the little mini-buses powered by biofuel. Great if you're not so well off, I suppose. Oh, looks like I'm running a bit low on juice. It only happens when you're already late, doesn't it? My friend keeps nagging me to grow my own biofuel at home and get a scooter, but this thing's electric. Well, this should be fun. We're about to ask the community about expanding the practice. Everyone has a say over what happens locally. There's a plan to build a new road connecting us with Labourhood, a community of migrant workers a couple of kilometres away. It makes economic sense to establish links with other communities in the city who we really fit with, but this is different. It could mean more patience, but it would be good to get the cheap labour coming in. Hiya, how was the rest of your morning? I'm starving. I'll have to eat cheap. Food is so expensive. Despite the vertical farming, growing food for everyone is still a real challenge for many communities. Land is so hard to come by. I'll have to eat on the run. House calls this afternoon. My sister is so lucky. She works from home, doesn't have to travel at all. So many people do that these days. Now that is the life. It's date time. Let's get moving. Oh God, sorry. Are you all right? No, I can't stop. I'm really sorry. Oh, I forgot some people still ride a bike. Funny how many people still don't have at least a little electric mini scooter. Well, I'll say goodbye now. I want to touch up my lippy before meeting Mr. Right.
No, that's funny. Yeah. You're dating the guy that you crush upon. Yeah, right. That's funny. So these are plans that were made during the 2000s, right? End of the 90s, 2000. And they were planning ahead for 2040. These think tanks, these lobby groups, right? So we're also going to take a look at Dave Politis, who has a new video about missing people and missing people from California, Idaho, and Montana.
Hey there, Dave Politis, Can-Am Missing Project, a copyrighted edition for our video channel. And this is Huck, the executive producer. All these people asked for her this weekend. They said, hey, where is Huck been? Well, she's always around, full of love, and just a good girl. Hey, can you shake? Hey, shake. Oh, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. Okay, can Daddy do his show now? I know you want scratches and loves, but can I do my show now? Okay? That's okay.
So there you have the executive producer. Now, Dave goes into the letters that he gets, and we're going to take a look at some cases he's got. I'm going to skip the letters. So here we go.
His name was Frank Stickler, 60 years old, went missing January 25th, 1902. He lived in a little town called Warren, Idaho, kind of southeast from Riggins, Idaho. And Riggins is an area I've been in where another person disappeared near the Snake River. But this person was a placer miner and a potato farmer in Idaho. And this was way back in 1902. And it's important to understand the backstory on this. Warren was just a little tiny town back then. It's still not very big today. So this is Riggins. This is the Snake River over here. This is McCall. So almost directly east of McCall is Thunder Mountain. Here's Warren. This is where the person went missing, and I'll get to how that came into being. But the person lived in Warren, hiked to this area, they split up, and I'll get to how this all happened. So the backstory is that there was a business owner in Warren, Idaho, who owned a livery business, kind of a wealthy guy. And he hired a man named Joe Davis, who was a prospector, to travel up to that Thunder Mountain location to access a claim and do an assessment of the claim. This was during the winter. And he told Joe, the livery man told Joe that, hey, as a gift, I'm going to send somebody up to that claim at Christmas time with a bottle of whiskey for you. And he goes, hey, that's great. So not a lot of people wanted to make that trip in the middle of winter, but Frank Stickler did. Frank heard about it. And then the owner of this mine or claim said he was going to give him $50. And it was almost $1 for every mile. It was about a 25-mile trip up and about a 25-mile trip back. So $1 a mile. And Stickler said he could probably do it in 2 or 3 days up and back. Well, another man named Dan McRae decided he was going to travel with Stickler from Warren to the Salmon River and to the fork of a place called Elk Creek. And that was about 12 miles into the trip. And they came to that location, and McRae went on his way to Smith Creek, and Stickler went up to Thunder Mountain. That was the last time Stickler was ever seen. And that was peculiar, remember? Point of separation. So Stickler thought, and told McRae he thought he could do that 13 miles up to the point of the mountain where the assessment was in 1 day. Now during that time, weather was rough. There's a lot of snow. People describe Stickler as wearing real warm clothing, but not a lot of provisions. So fast forward, so this was, the pair left on on December 21st, 1901. 2 days later, Stickler separates from McRae, and then fast forward a month to January 25th, Joe Davis, the guy who was supposed to get the whiskey, comes down into Warren to resupply and make his reports. And he runs into the livery stable owner and he goes, hey, how'd you like my bottle of whiskey? And the guy goes, I didn't get any whiskey. Nobody came up there. So the town rallied and they sent dozens and dozens of people up that trail looking for Frank Stickler. Well, while they were searching, the weather was bad, more snow. They searched for a week, which is a phenomenal amount of time, knowing the distance on that trail. They didn't find anything. So they went back the following year and they searched again in the springtime after the snow had gone. They didn't find anything. Very strange story. You have a good portion of the hike was done next to creeks and rivers. You have point of separation, you have weather, and you have the fact that neither one of these people were ever or Frank Stickler was never found. What happened to him? It's a very good question. And I don't have a good answer for it. But it fit too many of the profile points to ignore. The next case happened in my home state here, Montana. Again.
Dus we hebben dus Dave Politis die verdwenen mensen aangeeft. En we hebben net een zaak gehad waarbij je dus 2 wandelaars hebt en er is een punt van separatie. De ene gaat die kant op en de andere loopt die kant op. En ja, een van de 2 wordt er nooit meer teruggevonden. Dit gebeurt. En de vraag is, wat is gebeurd? what really happened over there. You know, I want to know the truth. Nou, misschien heeft het te maken met de achtergrond. We zien daar een UFO. Ja. En ja. Als je daar diep op ingaat. Het kan ook interdimensionaal zijn. Er zijn ook USO's, Unidentified Sea Objects. Het komt van de zee. Dus er speelt veel meer dan ons verteld wordt. Maar we kijken door naar de volgende zaak.
Not in the Montana book, an entirely new story. Involved a young man named John Glynn, Glynn, from Ireland, 17 years old. He went missing October 29th, 1901. Not far before Frank Stickler disappeared in just the state right next to us. Now on October 29th, John went with his uncles to the headwaters of what's called Mill Creek, and it's a grassy hill area above Anaconda, Montana. If you've never been to this area, pretty rough zone up there. This is Anaconda right here. This is Highway 1. This is Highway 90 over here. Fairmont Hot Springs Resort. And this is the upper headwaters of Mill Creek where they were hunting. So a 17-year-old is with his uncles. The uncle's sister, which is Joe's mom, was in Ireland, and the uncles had him here for a year working. So John and his uncle, M.J. Moran, and John Waugh, they split up and they were going to hunt different areas. Well, they all decided they were going to show up at the middle of an area down below later that day. Well, the two uncles appeared and John didn't. And it was snowing during this time. It was pretty bad weather. So the uncles rally the city of Anaconda, and they get 50 people to come up and look for John, 17 years old. Now, the last time they saw him is he was hiking adjacent to Mill Creek. Not a deep place up high at all. And the organization by Moran and Waugh was huge, and it went on for days. The uncles got frustrated, couldn't find him, didn't understand where he could be, and they posted a $50 reward, which got even more people to come out. Well, the weather got worse. They had to cancel the search. And then on February 28th, 1902, a body was found in the local river down in Anaconda. And there were some rumors that the body was related to John Glynn. In reality, there was never any substantiation it was, and he was never found. Now, why is this story important? Well, first of all, John was young, 17. He was in phenomenal shape, a lot of energy, dressed very warm. He was hunting. Weather got bad. Point of separation. Hunting next to water, a creek. And the local town got bloodhounds to come in and work the area where the uncles split from John, and they never found him. Very, very strange story for that area of Montana for sure. Not in my book, totally new.
Ja, mensen, daar zien we dus de tweede zaak. Hè? Dus twee gasten gaan met een kind gaan ze dan jagen. En de kind die ja, in één keer verdwenen. In één keer verdwenen. Wat is er allemaal aan de hand? Er is zoveel dat we niet weten. Maar we moeten ons die vraag wel afstellen. Van, wat gebeurt hier eigenlijk? Zo wil ik heel graag weten wat voor dossiers onze overheid heeft over UFO's bijvoorbeeld. Wat vliegt er allemaal boven Nederland? En ja, zou ik wel heel graag willen weten. Ja. Dus ja, dat wordt ons allemaal niet verteld. En het wordt allemaal in een complothoekje geduwd. Die is wappie. Dat is hun enige manier van defensie. Want ze kunnen het gewoon niet aan. Ja, de normies kunnen het niet aan. Die vinden dit al te ingewikkeld. So the normies, they cannot process this, right? What happened to all these people? The normies don't really care, you know. And this happened in 1901, right? So people have been vanishing for decades, you know. Je wil niet weten hoeveel mensen in één keer verdwenen zijn. Ja. Wat is er met die mensen gebeurd? Praten we dan over interdimensionale wezens? Want ja, je kan deze realiteit als een bepaalde dimensie zien. Of een frequentie. Zeg een radiofrequentie. Nou, als je dan een knop draait, dan heb je daarnaast een parallel iets. En snap je? Zou zomaar allemaal kunnen. En als je de technologie hebt om meerdere dimensies te bereiken, ja, dan kan ik me ook wel voorstellen dat die hier lang zijn geweest. Ja. Dus weer een hele lange en ik hoop ook boeiende uitzending. We hebben weer verteld over de machtsstructuren en hoe we bij de neus genomen worden. En dat doen we elke dag weer. Elke dag wijzen we weer wat aan. Nagorno-Karabakh hebben we aangewezen. We zijn al lang genoeg live. Morgen is ook weer een dag om te strijden. Dus morgen zijn we er weer. Ja, dan is het lichtje weer aan. En ik hoop dat men hiervan geleerd heeft. Ja. Dus ik dank jullie voor het kijken. Ik dank jullie voor het delen. Behalve de trollen dan. Want die plaatsen alles buiten context. Dus even kijken. Bedankt Rogier, geef niet op lieve vriend. Nou, dat doe ik niet. Want heel veel mensen hebben schijnbaar moeite om dingen goed te kunnen verwoorden. Dus dan doe ik het maar. Dat is mijn taak. Mijn taak naar de mensen toe. Ja. En het is best wel een zware taak. Maar we doen het elke dag weer. Zo ben ik vanmiddag ook live geweest. En dan heb ik het een en ander uitgelegd over Israël en Palestina en zoiets. Dus we doen ons best. En we sluiten af met Ali. Even kijken, Ali. De octopus. Ja, daarmee sluiten we af, mensen. Nee, wacht. Misschien Charlie. they're going to get no, so. Kijk hier. They're going to get you. So we're closing. I hope you guys enjoyed what was shown and what was explained. And we're going to shut off with our friend Ollie.
Rolling.
Hello, this is Ollie the Octopus.
Hi, here we are outside the US Embassy. I'm about to play my song. It's called They're Going to Get You. We're filming them because they film us. If you don't renew your tax disc, you'll be driving at your own risk. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They can use their Jedi mind tricks, psychometric biometrics. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. CCTV in your clamshell turning in the grave of Orwell. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. DNA no longer your own because they've mapped out your genome. Be careful what you say when you're on the phone because they know where you live. Them when you're on your own. Daddies, watch your daughters. There's Prozac in the water. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. Don't start a revolution. They'll get you with their air pollution. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. Because we think we are paranoid. Their forces are still deployed. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They get your details in the dope. Now they know you. They're going to get you. Careful what you say when you're on the phone because they know where you live. And when you're on your own, on your own, on your own, on your own, on your own, on your own. I'm gonna go over here for the last verse.
Nice one.
Good afternoon. By the way, for the we're from the police entertainment unit, here to make your day a little bit more exciting. With entertainment. Have you not heard of that? They'll look you up for them, it's not hard, so look your best on your ID card. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They can make your life live in hell if you even mention Roswell. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. You can join in if you want. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you.
They're going to get you.
Be careful what you say when you're on the phone because they know where you live. And when you're on your own, be careful what you say. Be careful when you're on the phone because they know where you live. They know when you're on your own.
out of that. Ollie the Octopus, thank you very much for that.
Sorry, just to explain, if I may, you probably don't know about the police entertainment department. But
We love you, Ollie.
a group of us, and what we do various things
Over there
to
in
kind of
England.
cheer up the police and get them a bit more connected to us, the ununiformed. And one of the, I'm actually the head of the police hugging department. Yeah, all right. And
No hugs?
you're not up for a hug?
Hugging makes the world
Sir?
a better place. Can we
Sir,
hug
you up
you?
for a hug, sir?
Can we please hug you?
No?
But it's only a nice hug.
It's just a hug.
We're all
Go on.
we're all
Are
beautiful
you
and
allowed
unique
to?
snowflakes of Mother Nature and all the rest of it. No? All right.
Exactly. We're all beautiful and unique snowflakes of Mother Nature. And this is also a very nice song, but this is copyrighted. Peace on earth. When I grew up, there weren't many trees. Where there was, we tear them down and use them on our enemies. Yeah. What kind of peace will there be in a world full of hate? Let's put that on table. De groei, mensen. We zien ons morgen weer. We'll be back tomorrow. And we got a lot of news. See you tomorrow.